Mary's church is finally reopening and some of the girls are having relationship drama. Let's break it all down in today's recap.
But I'll be on it always, always and ever.
Hey queens, welcome back to my queen cave. My name is Shelby, queen of the queen cave, and in here I drop recaps and reviews of my favorite TV shows and movies, commentary on any topic I find interesting, and deep dives into Black history, Black culture, and icons that help shape that culture. If that is your vibe, hit the subscribe, you already know the deal. Today we are recapping The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 10, The Higher the Hair, the Closer to God. So we start with Whitney at her house, and she is hosting a friends gathering cheer up party for Britney, for all the girls to come over except Lisa and Meredith, of course. And as Heather is the first one to arrive, she makes comment that it smells like complete shit in Whitney's house because she has some broccoli or something going on. Yeah, so she throws that out and they want to get something cooking to get that nasty ass smell out of the way. Angie has an idea for the girls to recreate Britney's high body count hair, and they get their hair all ratted up, and I was like, I don't know if this is supposed to be some like backhanded joke compliment, because none of the hair looked good and none of the hair looked like Britney's high body count hair. Her hair was actually like in a high cute ponytail. They just made their hair all teased and ratted the fuck up, and I was like, this looks a complete mess. Angie has an idea for the girls to recreate Britney's high body count hair, and they start teasing their hair and it looks a ratty ass mess. And I was like, when did Britney ever have her hair like this? I don't know where she had her hair looking like a fucking rat's nest, but it looks a mess. So whoever idea Angie that was, I'm wondering if that was more of a backhanded compliment joke thing, because everyone's hair looked a rat ass mess. Britney finally comes down and she's really surprised. She's happy the girls came together for her, and in her confessional, she feels so touched and honored that the girls got together and made this about her to make her feel special and comfort her after she went through that whole thing with Meredith. So she is really appreciative of the girls putting this together for her. Bronwin sets up a teddy bear station for Britney to replace the unicorn that she threw overboard, and she wants to make things up to her because she does feel bad for doing so, and she says that she feels responsible for the kickoff of the whole thing that happened with Meredith and Lisa on the plane, because she was a part of Meredith and her throwing the unicorn overboard. I think it's good that she's at least taking that accountability, unlike Meredith. So each girl goes through and picks out a stuffed animal for Britney, and they record a message on the inside for her to hear. And as she's going down the line to hear everyone's sweet, nice messages, we love you, Britney, we're so glad you're here, XYZ, we get to fucking Mary's we get to Mary's stuffed animal, and Britney plays the message, and all you hear is static. We're waiting. I'm like waiting for the message, and it's just static, and there's nothing. And the recording is over with, and we're like, what did it say, Mary? Mary's like, nothing. What was the fucking point? Like, if you weren't gonna put anything, Mary, you didn't want to participate, I would have felt, if I was Britney, I would have felt so much better if you would have just said, you know what, I'm gonna sit this one out, I'm good, or maybe not even recorded anything. What the fuck was the point? We actually get some further context. We get a flashback on the boat, some unseen footage, if you will. And we get a confrontation between Britney and Mary. And Mary's telling Britney that she's not cool, she's not cute. And Britney shouts back and she tells her that she's the least Christ-like person that she's ever met.
And
Ooh, Mary. I don't know what they were arguing about, so I was confused a little bit on the context of the conversation, but I'm also wondering why we didn't get to see that on the episode, why that didn't make the final cut, because that looked like it was interesting and kind of funny. But yeah, she says that because of that, she's not really feeling Britney right now, but she does not agree with what Meredith did to her, so she does want to be supportive in that way. But in terms of being all included into all the events, she's gonna sit that one out. Whitney says Meredith really crossed the line that's gonna be really hard for her to come back from. And Bronwin says that Meredith actually reached out to her personally, and she was trying to gaslight her as well, trying to tell her that she wasn't even speaking to Britney. She told her she was having a calm conversation with Lisa. Britney had her headphones on, and she actually said that Britney shouldn't eavesdrop on her conversation about her.
huh?
Are you fucking kidding me, Meredith? Are you serious? You are telling me I shouldn't be eavesdropping on a shit talking conversation you're having about me behind my back, right behind me? What the fuck is that? Are you kidding? If that was you, you would not tell some. If that was you, you would not hear anyone telling you, oh, you shouldn't eavesdrop on my conversation I'm having about you. That makes zero sense. Heather chimes in and she thinks that Lisa is crazy for trying to force her to remember the situation exactly how Lisa wants her to remember it, which means she takes zero accountability. Nothing happened. Lisa didn't even do anything wrong to Britney at all, so that's bullshit. Heather thinks the girls should band together and hold them accountable so they can't go back and keep twisting the story and avoid taking accountability. Britney says she feels the same way and doesn't want to continue a friendship with them if they cannot just own up to it and apologize, which I agree. At this point, it's like if you can't just do the bare minimum, say that you're wrong, apologize so we can move on and be cool, it's really not that hard. Whitney then changes the topic and she goes to Bronwin saying she is noticing she's not wearing her wedding ring and she wants to get some more details on that based off of the conversation they already had with her feeling like her and Todd should have some sort of open arrangement. Since Whitney already knows what happened, Bronwin explains to the rest of the girls the situation with Todd on the plane getting caught looking at the girls in lingerie, and she says that she wouldn't have had much of an issue with it if Todd would have just been open and honest, but she's more upset and embarrassed because she had to hear about it from Twitter. Bronwin says she does not think the situation is marriage ending per se, but it definitely does change the dynamic of the relationship, and she does want to make it clear to Todd she is very much open to them having an arrangement, anything that's going to best support his sexual needs or whatever he needs, so he's not doing things behind her back, and so also she can get what she needs if she's not going to be able to get it from Todd. In the next scene, real quick, we have a scene. In the next scene, we have Mary at her church, and I'm gonna keep putting her church in quotes because Mary's church quote gives me cult vibes. I'm just gonna be real. Like when they were saying that at the beginning of the series and everyone was saying like, oh, we feel like Mary has a cult with her church and she comes off in her congregation as if she's God or she's an extension of God. Like I don't know if anyone else got those vibes when they were seeing her in her church sermons at the beginning of the first season, I think it was. It was just weird. It just gave me this weird vibe that the church members see Mary as this person on this pedestal that they need to bow down to, and oh Mary, we give you all the glory. It was weird. It was weird to me, and ever since then I was like, I'm not calling whatever Mary's building is a church that I define what a church is. Like it just really is giving off. In that building, Mary is seen as this God per se. If we're just gonna be real, that's how they cry over her, and it's giving this mother is giving that energy, like a cult type of energy. I'm being real. So I don't care to call anything that Mary does church, and I don't know if that's just based off of that's how her grandma ran things and she's just taking over the torch of how her grandma did it, so that's just how it's done now and she doesn't want to change it, or she feels like there's no other way to do it type of thing. I don't know, but it makes me uneasy, uncomfortable, and that's why I just kind of skip past these scenes because it's not giving this is a grounded church where we talk about honoring God and putting God first, and we put God over everything. That's just my 2 cents on it, but anyway, I digress. Mary and Robert Jr. start talking about Robert Jr.'s time in rehab, and he's just explaining how liberating it's been feeling knowing that he has God with him on this journey and how important his relationship with God is to him in his life. And he does start getting into details on how much he does want to spread that to the people in rehab with him and how much he knows that would help them on their journey. He just doesn't want to seem like he's forcing it down their throats because of how much a lot of people do receive it that way when you're trying to introduce them to God and have them come to God and open their hearts to God. A lot of them do receive them like that, like you're trying to shove it down their throats, force it on them. And I feel like some people feel that way because they actually have had that interaction with people that are super religious in your face. They're trying to force it on you. But I feel like that's really sad that they have had that experience, because now it's people that actually just want to genuinely have you open your heart to it and have you consider having God in your life and knowing God for yourself, it kind of has ruined that experience for them because they already had a bad experience in the past. So I understand where Robert Jr. is coming from, and Mary does a good job of just telling him to give it to them and in a way of planting the seed as such. Just kind of give it to them in a nice, loving, friendly, this option is available for you if you are open to it type of way, and go on with your day, because it's not your job to force people to accept God. It is your job to spread the gospel and let people know that there is someone here to give you what you need in your life to feel whole, to feel loved, to feel covered, to feel provided for, to feel protected, to feel like you're not in this alone, and that is only going to come from God. So I really like that part of the scene and that part of the interaction. But later on in the sermon at the very end, my feelings are different, but we'll get to that later. Next, this part got interesting for me. We get to John and Lisa. They go meet up at this cafe for like a breakfast type of meetup, and they start talking about Jack coming back from his mission, and Lisa is really interested to see the dynamic between Jack and Henry since they've been gone for so long, and John is, on the other hand, not as interested, because from his own experience, when he went on his mission and he came back, he thought he was going to be a whole different person, but he was the same asshole brother to his brother, and he doesn't see that Jack is going to be any different. Lisa then segues into an interaction her, John, and Henry had in the car the other day, and she says that John really pissed her off after he was trying to correct her and how she was trying to give Henry advice on something. Lisa says she was mad that John was trying to tell her she should say whatever she was trying to say in a different way, and in her confessional, she says that things between her and John are still off. She does not want to be corrected on how she talks to her kids as a mom and a grown adult, and she's just feeling really invisible in her marriage right now. Lisa then says it made her even more pissed off that Henry agreed with John that she should change her delivery, and she kind of just feels like everyone was dogpiling on her. John then asks like, okay, well then should I just not say anything? And Lisa's like, no, just don't tell me how to talk. John denies that, saying he's not trying to tell her how to think and how to talk. He's just trying to tell her from a man's perspective she should change her delivery so that her message can be received better. He's trying to make it clear to her it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. John then tells Lisa she's not a good listener, and when Lisa says yes she is, John starts laughing. And that part had me rolling, because Lisa's like, are you kidding? Like, she's so surprised that John is telling her she's not a good listener. And it just is really clear in this whole scene that Lisa is exhausting. You can't tell her shit. She's not wrong about a damn thing. And it's just like, John goes on to tell her, it's like your way or the highway. You make me feel like my ideas and my feelings don't matter. You tell me the idea that I had the other day wasn't even worth trying. So it just gets me feeling like I'm hopeless and you are the only one that matters in the whole relationship. John then says he feels that they have too much focus on their business ventures, and that's literally all they talk about. And Lisa gets emotional because she does not see it that way. She feels like they don't communicate at all, and John just stopped being affectionate to her altogether, which John does agree to. So it seems like they do have a lot of issues to work through, and I'm glad that John is finally speaking up, because all these seasons that we've seen him kind of be in the background, if we're gonna be real, let Lisa walk all over him these last few seasons. So now that he's finally getting a chance to open his mouth, because you can just tell he's over it, he's tired, and he's just gone to his wit's end dealing with Lisa and all her bullshit. And now we meet with Jared and Britney at the park for whatever dumbass reason. And we understand that Jared is here to comfort Britney after whatever she went through with Meredith, even though they're supposed to be on this 30-day break still. Like, this whole thing is so pointless and stupid. Britney is saying in her confessional she takes this as a sign of hope for them. Really, Britney, please be for real. Jared then drops the bomb on Britney that he went to Justin and Whitney's house, and Whitney ran back to Justin, who then told Jared that Whitney was on the yacht on the girls' trip, flirting with everyone on the crew, trying to get her groove on, and Jared is now somehow pissed off about that for whatever dumbass reason. And he's over here like, oh, is this that easy for you to just move on from me so quick and start flirting with everyone else? And Brittany's like, Why the fuck are you upset? We are not together. We're on a break. Every time I try to be serious with you, you have my feelings running through the mud, having me going back and forth, stringing me along. So for you to be upset, I'm completely confused about that. He tries to tell her he thought they were working on their problems, but not after the report they received. Like, what are you fucking talking about? The entire time he is with Britney, we see live in action all of the manipulation and gaslighting tactics he does on Britney. And the mind games is so wild. I'm like, are you kidding? You don't give a damn about Britney. And now that she's over there trying to get her groove on with whoever else will take her, you're mad about it, huh? Wow. The whole bullshit that Jared is on is so crazy and so real, and he's playing in her face bad. He continues on with the bullshit, and he tries to say that Britney runs away every 5 seconds and he needs somebody that is stable. Okay, look. Britney is not the brightest one that we can reference, right? But she also is not crazy, I feel, when it comes to this relationship. This entire interaction has made it clear you make Britney feel as if you guys have something worked out, you guys are working on something. You give her this false hope only to play in her face and snatch that away 5 moments later when she no longer benefits you after you got what you wanted out of her. Now you throw her off and have her feeling like, what are we doing now? Like, you just have her in the balance waiting around for a fucking real ass answer. And if she had more self-esteem, she would have been gone a long fucking time ago. But you're in the wrong and at fault for playing in her mind and playing with her feelings and her emotions, making her feel one way. And then now you want to use that against her, trying to tell her she's unstable. Are you for real? And she has every right to be pissed off right now. Britney in her confessional says she's made it clear to Jared multiple times what she wants from him. She wants a stable, committed relationship. She then says that she recognizes the mind games that he plays with her. And I'm like, so if you can recognize it and you see it and you know it, why the fuck are you still dealing with him, girl? Why have you not ran off and got with whoever else you can get in the Utah area? Like, I know there's a whole bunch of other basic ass white men that look just like him with some money you can go ahead and get off on. Like, what makes Jared such a prize? Please explain, because I don't think Jared is attractive in my mind. I don't see any positive qualities. What are we getting from Jared that makes him so hard to let go of? Is it the sex? Is it good in bed? Like, I don't understand. What else are we getting from him? Britney then again tries to straight up ask him, okay, what are we doing? What direction are we going in? What are we doing here? And he again tries to shame her for her flirting with the crew and essentially try to make that be a reason why they're not exclusive or they're not doing anything. So now Britney's like, you know what, fuck this. She takes her jacket from him and she storms off, and he's like, see, this is what I'm talking about. And I'm like, oh no. Britney, please keep walking. Please keep going. Leave this fool in the dust, because this is going to be a completed cycle over and over and over again, a repeated cycle over and over and over again. He is not going to stop until you stop allowing him to come around and keep playing these bullshit games. So of course, no surprise, she stops talking, she stops walking away and turns back around to continue this bullshit charade of a conversation. Britney starts to break down, saying that she just wants to feel secure in their relationship and she's done with this back and forth bullshit. And Jared tries to tell her it's not fair that she feels that way.
Oh, you want to get fucked up? You want to get...
What? What the fuck? You know what? Done. It's over with. Next. Britney, if this is not even more of the proof that you need after all of the other long list of the proof that we've already seen and we've heard from behind the scenes, I don't know what the fuck else you need. I don't know if you need him to cheat on you in front of your face for you to leave him the fuck alone. This person does not give a damn about you, your feelings, nothing. Because you wanting to feel secure in a relationship is completely valid. And for him to make you feel like you're tripping, you're crazy, oh, it's not fair for you to feel like this is bullshit. Get the fuck out of that relationship, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Get the fuck out of there. I am tired of hearing about Jared and his bullshit and the way that he treats Britney. I don't like Britney at all because of how annoying she is, but I don't care to see her going through this, and I don't feel like she deserves it either. Next. So now we get to Bronwin and Todd, and before Bronwin can come over to join Todd on the couch, we see him texting or emailing somebody, and I'm over here like, who is that? Who are you talking to? Like, after this whole thing, we should not see you texting or being on your phone at all, actually.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Bronwin in her confessional again tells us that Todd has been trying to come home, trying to talk to her and get past the situation, but she's not going to act like nothing happened. Bronwin then tells Todd the whole situation has been making her feel so uncomfortable and it's been making her feel like she's not good enough for him. She then refers back to a time Todd did cheat on her in the past and how that did affect her self-esteem in the relationship and how she's feeling those same feelings now. She then tells him she loves him and she's open to doing whatever she can to make him happy, and then she proposes the option for them to have an open arrangement. Todd doesn't really acknowledge much of what she says. He just says that they've had a lot of ups and downs in their marriage, and one of the things that's always been consistent is they've always talked through all their issues, but this time they didn't talk and they were both just coming in hot with their emotions. And I'm thinking, why were you so mad, Todd? Like, why were you so upset about what? You were mad that you got caught, or explain here. He then admits that he's wrong, doesn't say exactly specifically what he's wrong for, just a blanket statement. I'm wrong, I'm sorry, and I'm really happy to be in a relationship with you. And I'm thinking, right, because you're so happy you are looking at other women in lingerie behind your wife's back. Okay. I think that this has something to I honestly feel like this has something to do with Todd having built up resentment towards Bronwin. Like, I was already feeling that before. I said that in a video in the past. I was feeling like with all of this pile up that Bronwin has with including her parents, including Gwen and Gwen's boyfriend now living in the house, and now Todd is the one that having to foot the bill for all of this, plus everything that's going on with the show and how Todd's being exposed, getting all this negative light and negative press. I feel like Todd has built up resentment towards Bronwin, and that is a partial factor of him now straying off and looking at other women. Like, I just feel like that has to play a part, because what other reason are you now, because in the past, like we said, he cheated already. What is your reasoning for being unhappy to the point where you are now looking at other women behind Bronwin's back like that? And then you're saying that you're happy with her. You're really not. So I hope we can get a further breakdown on this later on in the season, because it's clear something is off here. Bronwin again tries to reiterate the idea of an open arrangement because that might be something that would best fit his sexual needs, quote. And then she does let Todd know she had a conversation with Whitney about their problems. And this gets Todd pissed off, and he doesn't feel like Bronwin should go back and tell any of his personal business to her untrustworthy friends. And part of me agrees with that, because it's like, this is your marital problems, Bronwin, and it should stay between you and your husband and your household. But on the other hand, Bronwin tries to explain, like, she feels like she should be able to vent to her friends that also can relate to this issue, and she doesn't feel like she should only be secluded to only talking to Todd about their problems. Plus, she feels like the relationship she has with the ladies is very valuable to her, and she does cherish them in her life right now, so she does want to include them in her life, which Todd again does not agree with. Todd then tries to end the conversation off saying that he feels like they've talked everything through and they're good and they can move on. And I'm like, you guys didn't really talk about anything. Bronwin said a lot. You didn't say shit. You didn't acknowledge anything that she said about the arrangement that she brought up twice. It seemed like you skipped past that. And I'm wondering why that wouldn't be something you would consider. Like, either you just don't want to talk about it on camera, or you just don't want to go that route and you want to keep doing this sticky shit behind Bronwin's back. Like, there's one or the other. Because if she's giving you essentially a free pass, I don't know why you wouldn't take it if that's something you feel like you need, since you can't keep your eyes only on Bronwin and her lingerie. But I digress. Next, so now we get to Mary and the church scene and the sermon of it all, XYZ. And Mary gets up to the church and the doors are locked. I thought that was kind of funny. She gets in and we get the information that Robert Jr. did not come to the service. She said that as they were getting into the car to leave, she noticed that he was high and she told him to stay back. It wasn't his time to go in yet, and she's going to keep being patient, allow him to come back when he's ready, and it's just really hoping that he gets things back on track. So it was kind of sad to hear that he was going through that right before the church service, but we're not here to judge. We do hope that he gets back into a good place and he's able to get back into a church service that's actually sound. Yeah. Whitney and Heather are on their way to Mary's church, and they're just going back and forth talking about how much different Mary's church will be from the Mormon church. And then they start debating if Lisa and Meredith will be in attendance. Angie and Bronwin show up at the church next, and Angie actually knows some of the churchgoers there, which I thought was nice because it really does show that Angie and Mary are a lot closer than the rest of the girls, and they have a good friendship. And as the girls are discussing if Meredith and Lisa are going to show up, here they come up walking up the walkway, and the girls are all shocked, and Meredith's like, I don't know why the girls are surprised to see me here. I've been the one to support Mary the most with her church, unlike everyone else. And Lisa in her confessional does not give a fuck who doesn't like her. She's there to support Mary, and she says to connect a little with God and Jesus. It really irks me when people kind of like treat having a relationship with God is like a whatever thing, like a, you know, we'll pop in for a bit, but you know, next. It kind of makes me feel a certain way, maybe because like how I feel about God is so zealous and so like deep in my soul, like how much I love God, I love Jesus. So just to hear someone else that claims to be a believer and claims to be a follower in Christ, and then just hear how they just have this throwaway way of talking about God just like really irritates me. I don't know if that's anyone else, but I feel like if you are a true believer and a true follower, it would to a degree, you know, but I'm not going to say too much about that because that's her relationship with God. That's her thing. At the end of the episode, she says something about she still donates her liquor line to the Church of Satan. And I was like, that's exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. How are you going to sit over here and call yourself a believer and a follower of Christ, and you still extend your services to people that are directly against what you believe in? Make that fucking make sense. That shit pisses me off to hear people want to use God whenever it's convenient. Like Lisa puts in she's a Mormon 2.0 whenever it's convenient. Like, you people do not really respect and fear and love God enough for me, in my opinion. It's like, I'm not playing around like that. You still give services to the Church of Satan, and you, yeah, like that's you, Lisa. I'm not gonna say anything else about that because I just feel like that's your life. That's what you want to do. I'm not gonna waste my energy saying anything else about that. I'm just saying for you to say you are a believer and a follower of Christ, and in the same sentence say you give your services to the Church of Satan is so crazy to me, and it sounds dumb. But anyway, I digress. Heather then gets shady. And she asks Meredith why she's wearing a boot. And Meredith says it's because she sprained her toe. And Heather's like, was it because you were kicking Britney? Heather is funny sometimes. That had me cackling. Lisa cuts in to say that neither one of them touched Britney. Again, we're not believing your version of events, Lisa. We know some bullshit happened, and we are going to get down to the bottom of it next episode. And now we get to the sermon quote. And again, I don't have much nice things to say about this because I just feel a lot of these churches that you see nowadays are not real churches to me. They're just places for people to go to say they're going to worship God, but it's just a place for them to go and ask God for something and continue to feel like God owes them something without picking up the Bible, referencing any scriptures, giving God the glory for anything. They just treat everything as a transaction. Everything is God's going to give you this, he's going to give you that, you're going to have this and this and that about God. All you have to do is give him a shout. Like, are we kidding? That's not what this is supposed to be about. We're supposed to be about what we are doing for God. How are we bettering ourselves to serve God and please God and obey God? And like, are we kidding? And be obedient to God. This is all about how we can serve God, not how God can serve us. But off of my little rant, sorry. Mary then goes down the line of the girls, tries to give them some motivational speech about God will give you strength, God will give you this, God will give you that, X, Y, and Z. So it seems like some of the girls received it. They really liked the message. The sermon was good for them, great for them. And then we get back to Lisa and what I was saying before. In her confessional, she says that all churches have one thing in common, and that's to fill a void and get something that you need. And I'm like, exactly my point. You are saying people only go to church to get something that they need and to fill a void, and not to go to get a real, genuine relationship with God, connect with Him, work on reading your Bible so you know how to live your life, how to resolve situations, how to make sure to trust Him, how to conduct yourself, how to work on repentance. Again, emphasizing not trying to be perfect, but again, working on repenting in the areas that we know that God sees as very sinful and we need to work on, X, Y, and Z. So that again proves my point of how most people are only going to church because they want to get something from God instead of giving themselves to God and letting God give them what they need. Because most of the time, it's just money. I know this was a really long rant away from the topic of the episode, but because the episode is touching on these topics, I'm going to put my 2 cents in there. This is my channel, my Queen Cave, and I say what I want. So I don't know how anyone else feels about this episode. I honestly feel like it was filler. I feel like it was boring as fuck, and I'm just like, we have to wait until next episode to get a confrontation between Britney and Meredith to get their conversation. So I'm ready for next episode. This one was a waste. How did you feel about it? Let me know in the comments down below. If you did like this video, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!